Have you ever been so fascinated with a pinball machine, and I'm talking so fascinated, that you'd like to own one? Have you ever wanted to play a real pinball machine from the early 80s that talks? Well, I think I had a similar experience with a certain machine called Gorgar. But, however, the machine changed my views about my sudden addiction to pinball. March 12th, 2013. I was walking at a warehouse that sold vintage pinball machines from the 60s to the early 80s. I asked the owner, Zach, "Is there a certain rare machine from the 80s in this warehouse?" He replied, "Yeah, a lot of them." Most specifically, he was pointing at a Gorgar pinball machine from the late 70s that only cost $20. I asked Zach on why the machine cost $20, and he replied with, "This machine is said to be haunted by, a red devil or something." The previous owner complained of pictures falling down, weird knocking noises on the front door, and an apparition of a man, red with horns, glaring at him while he was asleep. He couldn't take the haunting anymore, so he sold it to me, and now I keep it here with a holy cross nearby. "Trust me, you're gonna love playing it," he added to his reply. And so, I bought it, along with a cross, to prevent the spirit from attacking me. March 13th, 2013. The Gorgar machine finally arrived at my home, mint and clean. I plugged in the machine and started playing it. It was the typical simplistic machine that gives 100 points on an unlit pop bumper. What really creeped me out was the image of a man with horns on the back glass and on the playfield. There is this certain target called the Snake Pit, which had a voice that says, "Me got you," when the ball hits it. This pit was one of the high-scoring targets, unless you complete the GOR targets. I had a lot of fun until the machine suddenly emitted a loud bang, and the machine shut down with the score of 66,660 placed in the scoring back glass. At first I thought that it seemed weird to see a display, left intact when a pinball machine is plugged out. I said, well, I gotta do some maintenance tomorrow. March 13th, 2013. 10:05 p.m. Finally, it was time for me to sleep. I went to bed and suddenly I heard a knocking noise. I thought that my wife came home late, but she was asleep. So I managed to grab a flashlight and walk into the front door. I answered it. Nobody was there. As I was walking to my bedroom, ready to sleep, I saw a picture of me when I graduated college, broken, and it seemed to fall down. I thought that the nail holding the picture was rusty, but it wasn't. I got back to sleep, seeming paranoid about the machine's display. 12:26 a.m. As I was asleep, I kinda had a weird dream. Something that was unfamiliar to me. What I remember was a snake pit and a man with red horns in it, offering anything I wanted if I beat the high score, which could be 999,990 or something like that. I suddenly woke up, thinking that it was a nightmare. Then I walked downstairs to the machine where I played it, trying to beat the high score. 12:28 a.m. There was a paper, written with high scores with the words 999,999. Gorgar. I reluctantly challenged Gorgar into beating his score for a huge amount of money. I launched the ball and I managed to score 100,000 points in just 5 minutes. Wow, I must be good at this, I told myself. As the 200,000 point mark was reached, all of a sudden the floor was shaking, like an earthquake struck. 500,000 points. I suddenly lost control of my hands, draining the ball. Only at the second ball. 499,000 points, until I could beat Gorgar. By a sudden, the cross that was hanging right next to the machine suddenly moved upside down, slowly as I tried to control the flippers. 510,940 points. I suddenly heard footsteps, soft footsteps of some kind. My paranoia has reached out more as the footsteps sounded louder and closer to me. 3:29 a.m. I couldn't take it anymore. I could not take the pain, the upside-down cross, all the nightmares that happened. As I took a step away from the machine, I felt a hand grab me, dragging me to the machine, and a faint voice whispering, "Me, Gorgar," suddenly spoke to me. I was creeped out, and I would want to go to sleep again. 3:33 a.m. 574,840 points. I managed to get control of the table, continuing my third and last ball as suddenly the floor was shaking again, so powerful that the game suddenly tilted. My heartbeat suddenly grew quicker as I lost the challenge. And now an apparition of a red man with horns abducted and scared me. March 15th, 2013. I woke up in a hospital with the doctor saying, "Eric, you were in a coma. Presumed snake bites. Luckily, we managed to revive you before the snake venom killed you." I was shocked. Suddenly, I was hallucinating the red man and the snake pit. As I was panicking, needing a glass of water, I told the doctor, "Gorgar's here, he's got me." And she gave me a glass of water, which I poured on my eyes, clearing the hallucinations. "I gotta destroy the machine," I exclaimed before falling asleep. April 2nd, 2013. I packed the machine, took it to the desert, burnt it with the machine's last words saying, "You hurt Gorgar." Now I live peacefully with my wife, and still sometimes remember the machine in anguish. However, the machine survived, and now, with a new owner, a priest. So my next move was to investigate the activity of the machine to the priest. May 7th, 2013. I met the priest who now owns the Gorgar machine, and all of a sudden he told me, "Gorgar's back to get you, Eric."